Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about two beautiful expressions of infinite love. You may know them as Brother Walter, founder and abbot of the Church of the Universe, and Brother Michael, Archbishop of the Church. Right now at this point, April 24th, 2008, the brothers are in the process of, or have been sentenced. I haven't got the update yet. Although they will rightfully appeal, they might have to sleep in a couple nights in jail, which is nothing new for these brothers, who have been standing their God-given ground for nearly 40 years, inspiring many brothers and sisters, like myself, to know your rights and use them while standing your rightful God-given ground. The brothers were convicted, or maybe even entrapped is a better way to put it, but that's besides the point. They were convicted of trafficking God's tree of life, the Church's sacrament. I experienced the fastest trial they gave the brothers. Canada is free? I don't know who told you that. All I experienced was something that would make the reptilian fascists proud. Because if Canada was free, the Church of the Universe would be living in peace and harmony with everything, as it should be right now and should have been ever since the Church was started back in 1969. Here is a quick story of the latest charges that the brothers have experienced, as I know it. Sometime in 2003, I believe, Brother Walter was held at gunpoint in an attempted robbery of the Church's sacrament. The robber saying, "Give me the mother lode. Where's the mother lode? I want the mother lode." That's what he kept on saying. Long story short, the guy ran off with nothing. What the brothers did next is what got them investigated for these charges. The brothers reported the robbery to the police, as any citizen rightfully should. But instead of looking for that suspect, the Hamilton police decided to start an investigation on the brothers, age 75, Brother Walter, and 58, Brother Michael, who came to the police for help. What assholes, especially since in Canada, everyone knows about the church, not to mention in Hamilton, where it has been the home of the brothers for many years. It's not like the RCMP and police services are not familiar with their church. In fact, the church has a long history of standing its ground against the man. The truth must be heard, and this is why I'm doing this, because it needs to be done. Enough is enough. Back to the charges. The brothers shared the Church's sacrament, cannabis, to an undercover officer who they perceived at the time as a sister. A being who just moved from Winnipeg. She looked down on her luck. That was the program the officer was using. The brothers assuming at that point in time, the same sister who declared that she believed in God and used the tree of life as sacrament and or sacramental medicine would turn out to be Hamilton's finest. It would be out of the question, but it is the truth. That sister was one of Hamilton's finest liars from the undercover drug squad. The brothers were convicted of trafficking / sharing, quote me if I'm wrong, no more than 5 grams of cannabis between both ministers who are mandated by God to attend to the garden and share the tree of life within the congregation and anyone else who wants to receive the sacrament. Because you see, the world and its peoples are the congregation. We are all brothers and sisters, and that's the way it should be. We are all one, and I can't express that enough. And the quicker we understand and comprehend that, the quicker we can all enjoy life. The man, the government, whatever you want to call it, is trying to steal. And by steal, I mean thieves. They are trying to steal the church. The Crown, who is a real joker, is trying to steal it under the Controlled Drugs and Substance Act. This is after the fact that they were literally forced off of Clearwater Abbey with guns drawn in 1986. Both brothers, Walter and his wife at the time, and Brother Michael lived at Clearwater Abbey for 18 years, in peace, growing the tree of life and sharing it with many brothers and sisters who visited. Check the history, or rather the genocide, against the Church of the Universe. The information is out there. Read the court transcripts, hear or read a couple of stories on the World Wide Web, and you will know and understand the constant threat and intimidation that the church has been under for our way of life, a way of life that God has given us permission to live. You don't have to agree with the church's beliefs, but I am saying, let us worship and do what God has mandated us to do in peace. I don't think that's too much to ask. Let's be reasonable here, honestly. Cannabis hemp. #1 fuel, #1 fiber, #1 paper, #1 food, and #1 medicine. I know these are the last days. After this, the church, or rather cannabis in general, will totally be free. Brother Walter, Michael, and I are one of numerous ordained ministers of the Church of the Universe, Reverend Brothers, if you will. The Church of the Universe has many chartered missions around the world, with many in Canada. In Toronto alone, there are 3 missions: the G13 Beaches Mission of God, Toronto Assembly of the Church of the Universe, Section 56, the Joy Mission of God with Love Cry, as well as the Tree of Life Mission in Sudbury, and the Third Eye Mission of God in Vancouver. Those are just some of the missions. I am a missionary from the G13 Beaches Mission of God. Some of you may have even shared sacrament with me down at the church. The odds are good, considering that the G13 Mission of God had a congregation well over 1,700. So I believe there's a good chance. You might even see me riding my bike or rollerblading along Queen Street. Feel free to say hi. Just to push it into perspective, the highest congregation number for any mission or any church of any kind, including all Roman Catholic churches and mosques in Toronto, averages about 700 members at best. The G13 mission had double the size, and if not for the unconstitutional treatment by the man towards these peace-loving beings, me included, it would have tripled.